Good morning, good evening, and good day. Thank you so much for watching Attack Power Gaming. Today I'm going over the division tech for the Armia Krojowa. I believe I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, please correct me in the comments. If you enjoy this, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithms. Consider subscribing to stay up on new videos. And if you really enjoy this content, consider supporting on Patreon. Let's dive right in. So here we are with my Polish army here. This is definitely a very offbeat division. This does not rank very high on any tier list. It is not, I don't remember the last time I've ever seen anyone play it. It's just a very odd division. It really is. It's got pretty noticeable weaknesses, and it's got some pretty significant strengths. I'm going to see if this thing has the chops. Maybe it's an undiscovered gem. Unlikely. I don't consider myself so awesome that I'm going to find some division that's way better than everyone thinks it is, but still could be quite fun. So, strength-wise, infantry. These infantry are pretty phenomenal. You get just tons of them, and they're strong, and they are fun to use. So, a really strong infantry, really solid recon tab as well. This tank tab, while limited, is pretty effective. It gets the job done. You got some fun units in there. Great AT tab. Lots of options there with some good stuff. Okay, solid air tab, but definitely lacking in some things. Not a great RD tab, bad AA. Support is uninteresting to say the least, leaves a lot to be desired. So yeah, this is quite a division. Let's hop right in here. I'd love to try to say some of these things, but I'm not even going to try for some. This is basically like they have it set up as a Hungarian unit, and they're using Hungarian weapons, so this must be a stolen Hungarian unit here, essentially. We have 8 straight pull rifles, a submachine gun, 3 M1 carbines, and a Madsen automatic rifle. Solid squad, 20 points for 13 men with a machine gun. That's a pretty darn good rate. Hard to complain, really, about that rate of return. So, yeah, solid unit. There are other options here that you could definitely use. This is an 8-man assault squad, though honestly not a very good assault squad overall. It's pretty, like, meh. And you do not need more CQC power in this deck. Maybe this should just be another one of these. These guys are quite solid. This is the Partisanis. They have 7 rifles. It's basically a German loadout. MP40, 7 Kar 98s, an MG34, and then a heat anti-tank grenade. So solid. 20 points for a 9-man squad. It's nothing out of the ordinary, but it's not bad either. This one, the reason I'm taking this is because you get 13 men, and it's a similar loadout minus the AT, right? So it's kind of your choice. Then you have the meat and potatoes of this division, the Oknisi. Again, apologies. This unit is absolutely phenomenal. It is a 15-man squad for 25 points, which is a crazy rate right off the bat. You get 2 submachine guns. It's not a great submachine gun, but it's a submachine gun. You get 12 rifles, a Browning automatic rifle, and a Molotov cocktail. These guys are fantastic. They work really well as just regular line infantry just because of the weight of rifle fire. You get Molotov, so they work well in the forest. 2 submachine guns, so a little bit better than your usual rifle. These guys are really solid infantry, and you get 3 cards, which means you can bring them in every single phase, and they have the super upped availability curve, the 12, 20, 32, and then you can vet them to basically be on the curve of unvetted normal troops. So 9, 15, 24. It's absolutely fabulous. You can I'd take all 3 cards. This is what makes this division so good, is all your infantry just lasts forever because they're 15 men. We have the officer here. It's an okay officer. He's nothing special. He has 6 men though. This is terrible because it only does 8 damage, so it actually takes 2 hits to kill a normal tank, medium tank. You could also take this for the radio, but you don't really have any radio artillery anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. And then Piats are absolutely abominable. I loathe those things with a burning passion. They never do what I need them to do. But maybe this thing is just better. It probably is just better. I probably should be taking that, especially because it's 25 points. Yeah, fine, I'll switch it, even though Piats are still terrible. So that's A phase. Oh, no, sorry. And then Sapezi, which is a 4-man double flamer assault squad. A little bit different than usual. It's usually 1 flamer. This one's 2. Pretty good for 30. It's expensive for 30 points. I will say that. It's a little on the expensive side. Maybe this is just better. Basically your sacrificial throw the grenade die kind of thing. Then we have the Berlingrossi. Gavosi. Again, I apologize, my fabulous Polish fans. An 8-man squad, 2 submachine guns, 4 rifles, a DP-28, and a PTRD. This thing's okay. This is very interchangeable for this. They both do a very similar function. Maybe the Partisanis are just better, and I know I'm saying that wrong. That's very possible. I think, no, there's same availability too. Then another card of these wonderful beauties and some more officers, because you do not, this is one of the few divisions in the game where you do not get an artillery leader. So I needed 2 cards. Then we have the Gruppe Sturmwaffe, which is basically a German unit. It's got 4 MP-44s, 3 rifles, an MG-42, and a Panzerfaust. Very strong, bringing them in C so I can get 18 of them. And then another card of these beautiful babies. So awesome infantry tab. Then over here we have snipers. Now this is the 1-man sniper team, so be aware these do not hold up very well. They die relatively quickly. Then you get these dudes. I can't say it. The infantry unit itself is pretty solid. I mean, you get an AT rifle, which you can sneak around. You do get a machine gun. It's an okay 25-point 4-man team. You know how I generally don't like these, but this one's got the stuff. It's got the options. What I've taken this for is this thing, the Kubus, which has a Piat and a machine gun and is 5 points. Hard to pass up an armored vehicle for 5 points. That kills everything. They don't perform very well in my game because Piats are awful, but it's still pretty darn good. You have to remember the Piat only has 200 meter range. I keep thinking because it's on a vehicle that it has longer range. It doesn't. It still only has 200 meter range. And then we have these nice, sapper-esque units, but they're recon, which is always nice because then they can hide around and surprise dudes with their TNT. And then, of course, the indomitable BA-10. But you have to bring it in B. A lot of phase lock in this deck. Lot of phase lock. Then we have our tank tab, which is a very interesting collection. All these slots are worth 1 point, except maybe the last one. I can't remember. Give me a sec. Nope, they're all 1. All these slots are 1 point, so you might as well fill them up. You cannot get the T-34s until C phase. You can only take the T-70s also in C phase, except for this one, which you can take in B phase, but they're not that useful. You can take these M14s, which these are light, like Brita gun Italian. I think they're Italian. I want to say Italian tanks. These are useful. For 15 points, these are great. They shoot stuff. They kill things. 2 machine guns. I mean, these do great. Take them. Hetzer? Yes. Tiger? Why not? I've decided to take 2 Panthers over a Panzer IV because 1 Panzer IV will die. This is a glass cannon. These things might actually be useful at some point. So, yeah. Weird collection of heavy tanks. Support tab. I'm not taking the bomb. This thing is awesome. It goes big, big boom, but you only get 1 of them, and it's not worth the points, in my opinion. You get 2 cards of flamethrowers if you want them. I'm only taking 1. Taking the MG42s because they're better than the Maxims. And then officer and supply. Anti-tank tab, absolutely fabulous. You get PTRDs for only 5 points, which is really, really good. You get pack 38. You get pack 40s, which is awesome. You get these absolutely fantastic Panzerschreck units. They have a frag HE, TNT. They have 2 G43s and 4 submachine guns. These are phenomenal. You get 12 in B. You can also get 6 in A. I mean, this is absurd. These guys are absolutely phenomenal. One of the best highlights of this deck was this unit right here. You get M42s and some Zis 3s as well. These are just like lame little light AT. They might be very good. I'm not even sure. I couldn't really find room for it. I think the M42 is better because of the APCR. But this thing does fire faster. That's one thing to be aware of. So, cool AT tab. One of your big lacks in the deck, you get only these 20 mils basically, and then you can't get the 37s till C phase, so you are really hurting for AA for a long time. It's rough. It's rough. But the 20 mils do okay these days. With the buff they got, they're not the worst. Your artillery tab leaves a lot to be desired, but you do get the 152mm off maps, which are extremely strong. You get 2 of those only in B, taking the 81mm mortars. You could take these 105s, but you can only get 3 in A phase, and you can't bring them in with supply, so a little bit tough to use those. And I don't like the unradioed, and you can only take these in C, and you can only take these in A. So, I mean, these are basically like a mortar. These ones here, these are essentially a step off of a mortar based on how fast they fire, but they don't have radio or anything, so not very good. Your air tab is an interesting collection. I tried this U2 LNB to Mon out. This is the worst thing I've ever seen ever. So I'm taking this out and adding more IL-2 M3s. Yeah, you can get one yak in A if you want it. I don't. So I'm taking the 2 yak 9Ts in B. That's the only fighters. 2 cards of IL-2 M3s, the IL-2 KR in the beginning, and then the Napalm IL-2 M3 for some anti-personage. So yeah, it's an interesting deck. I actually had a good time playing it. The infantry are really strong, but you are very lacking in certain respects. So play at your own risk, but definitely an interesting division to say the least. If you enjoy this content, please hit that like button and subscribe and consider supporting the Patreon. Have a fantastic day.